Hey, listeners, welcome back to the Farm4Profit podcast. This is Tanner Winterhoff.
This is David Whitaker, and we're missing Mr. Corey Hillebo on
We
a Farm
are.
for Fun.
We are. Can you believe that? I don't know if Corey has missed. You know, he jumped on. Corey jumped on from the planner to say hello because he was like Cal Ripken and didn't miss any starts. And this is going to be the first one that Corey's missed out on.
Yeah, but he's doing something good, and so we'll bring that up down the road. But hey, I missed a couple, and
That's
I don't
right.
think you've ever missed any. But
That's right. No, you guys don't give me a day off.
we were going to record one without you.
You should.
We were going to just make you nervous about it.
It would probably be stellar.
We've recorded a couple at the
National Farm Machinery
National Farm
Show.
Machinery Show. We all went our separate ways, and we recorded.
That's right. But listeners, this is a Farm for Fun episode. If this is your first time joining us, Farm for Profit, we focus on a topic to help make your farm more profitable. Today we focus on a guest that we're going to learn a little bit about their story, and we always walk away with something that might make us better as a person, our farm better as an operation. But we have a little fun while we do it. We have a drink, and that's what we didn't do for Corey today. So let's start that over with a Busch. Thank you to Busch Light for being a proud sponsor of the Farm for Profit podcast, the beer of the Farm for Profit podcast. And they have brought our listener review to us. Thanks to Busch Light for their support. So who's our review from today, Dave?
It is from area code, a whole bunch of numbers that we won't say publicly, and a text from Stephanie Nash Show is what it says. From the Stephanie Nash Show, a couple not so famous artists. I like what does it say? Corb Lund and
Sierra Farrell.
boy, I can't read today. Might be worth a listen. Hey, we are definitely worth a listen. Not might, we are. Yeah. And keep up the good work, guys, is what the comment is in the review. Thanks for that. If you want to leave a review, you can leave it on our voicemail or text at 515-207-9640 or any of our social media platforms.
That's right. So now we not only don't have Corey, but we're also using new mics. Normally we have stand-up mics in front of us, and we've got these badass headsets on. So we'll see if I can blow out some eardrums and do my best Corey Hillebo impersonation. So I don't know if anybody's going to recognize this song. But as we get fired up today for our Farm for Fun show, we have got that gal that is going to get you off of your butt. She's hailing from the southwest part of Minnesota, sharing her journey in agriculture and fitness with over 60,000 people combining TikTok and Instagram. She's known as the Fit Advocate, Miss Andrea. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. I actually really appreciate that music, so, there's that.
Nailed it. Just nailed it. Welcome.
I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
No, I think we're more excited than you are. I don't think you understand. It's
I
like
don't know.
it's like a freeing motion of not having Corey here.
It's good. Who is she? Where's she from?
I don't know.
What does her family look like? Why does she have show cattle behind her? I don't understand. We got to learn more.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, of course. So I am a fifth-generation farmer in southwest Minnesota. If you think of the corner of southwest Minnesota, I can touch Iowa and South Dakota. That's literally where I'm at. So not too far away, but we have corn, soybeans, and then we have a feedlot and cow-calf. So that's kind of the background of the farm side of things. My mom's actually from Iowa. I have a little bit of a dairy background as well. So she was a dairy farmer. I did that a little bit. Did all the 4-H stuff, grew up, went to South Dakota State, came back to the farm instead of going to vet school. And that's kind of where we're at now with sharing online and doing podcasts and such.
So are you an animal science major? Pre-vet?
Yes. I was animal science specialization at CSU.
I got you. What are you going to be when you grow up?
Smokes.
I don't know. Honestly, I think I'm just going to farm and create embarrassing TikToks and advocate for agriculture, really.
Not just. Don't throw just in there.
I know. Always just that dash of selling yourself short.
Cool, right. Don't do that.
I know.
I don't know if our listeners are going to be able to keep up because she just told us everything about her in a minute
I'm going to take her to auction school. We're going to make it, hey, look at her, $100, 1 and 2 and 2, quarter 50, cow-calf. What do you want to do?
I think you could be we've only talked for 5 minutes. I think you'd be a great auctioneer.
It terrifies me a little bit, but I feel like I get my tongue tied and I would just say the wrong number, and then all of a sudden someone's buying a cow for like $25,000 accidentally.
And the person that is selling the cow would be extremely happy with
They'd
you.
be like, do it again.
Yes. Yes, that's oversell. No, don't oversell.
They always said if you talk too much and you talk too fast, I said, you know what, sons of guns, I'm going to go get a job in this, and you're all going to be jealous. Here, just wait.
So you said corn, soybeans, cattle feedlot, but you didn't tell us who is involved. You said you're 5th generation, but how many generations are actively farming?
So it is my dad and my mom, and then me and my husband. So I do have a brother as well. He's just not on the farm right now. He's actually in Sioux City with his girlfriend. She's going to school down there. So my grandparents passed away when I was younger. So it's just been my parents and I since I was probably 8 or so. So it's only 2 active generations on the farm right now.
And you said your mom was from Iowa, from a dairy in Iowa?
Yep. Just about 30 minutes away. So not very far in Iowa, kind of on the border as well.
Right, but still a much better state than Minnesota.
I don't know if either of them really kind of have a trump over each other, honestly, though.
That's fair. They're both better than Nebraska.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with Nebraska, but
Did you know even Uppy on TikTok said Iowa's got the best corn? Just fact there. Q's listening. I mean, he did say that. So
That's funny.
It is forever on TikTok. So you row crop, we kind of got there. We got a little bit of background there, and you went to SDSU. And you have this other company.
I do a lot of things. Which one are you talking about?
Which one are you talking about, Dave?
I don't know. I guess I kind of only thought that there was this advocate type deal, but do you have a clothing store? Are you tell me more?
So I have ThatFitAgvocate LLC is my business entity for content creation, public speaking, all of the stuff that I do there. And then I also co-own a boutique with my Iowa best friend for activewear, athleisure clothing, comfy casual, that type of stuff. So
athleisure. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Athleisure.
Yeah.
So is that like I am planning to go work out, but I'm going to sit on the couch?
Kind of, yeah. Like comfy clothes, or like we do a lot of like joggers and shorts and like whatever I pretty much wear when I'm not. I mean, I wear it all the time, I guess, like t-shirts and shorts and leggings and, typical female outfit right there.
I get it. It just was a oxymoron. Is that what they say? An oxymoron of athletic wear, but leisure. We're just gonna chill out. And
pretty much what you would wear that you're comfy. You can just like eat popcorn and watch TV. Essentially, kind of what it is.
So, what was the draw to fitness? Were you like an athlete at SDSU? Where did this come from?
So it's kind of funny because I actually hated fitness up until 2016. I was always the girl that like skipped PE class. I would have like, if I could go do farming stuff with my dad or do like something with 4-H, I would skip PE. And I didn't do any sports or anything. I was a figure skater, Minnesota things, but I didn't actually play sports because I didn't want to have to like do conditioning and all of that fun stuff. So when I went to college, my mental health really kind of struggled. Because I went from being like involved in 4-H and FFA and all of these activities and having somewhat strict parents to all of this freedom and struggling with way too many credits that I kind of lost myself my first year of college. And fitness is what kind of helped me draw my mental health back in and start taking care of myself in a form of growing confidence and being happy again versus just everywhere at all the time.
Yeah, it's always interesting when we get to parts in these stories where mental health is part of the discussion, that it triggers, I'm not going to say an obsession, but it triggers a focus. Like one of the ways to power through a troubling time is to really pick something else to focus on. Is it a distraction? What would you say it is?
I think sometimes it's more of just channeling like what is negative energy into something that is positive. So a lot of the time if I'm like struggling mentally, if I go work out or I go distract myself in a sense, by, working with cattle or fixing something that needs to be fixed, it just takes that energy out of what is not helping you and it puts it somewhere else. Because when you're, focused on fixing the tiniest piece of equipment or something, you're not going to go think about how bad your mental health is. You're just going to kind of combat that energy. So
See, most people, I think, in college would just channel that into boys or girls of the opposite sex and girlfriends and etc. Or beer. I mean, she went the other route and she's like, I'm going to be like athletic now. So.
no, I definitely did all of the above.
Oh, you
I
did?
just
Oh,
saved up for that one,
okay.
so.
The
No, that's
real
like,
story comes
it
out.
definitely was like the alcohol and the like cookie dough at 2 a.m. studying for way too many credits is what kind of put me into the downhill spiral and boys. And then I kind of figured out kind of the balance. And
Athleisure,
And boys. She threw it in
it
there.
all goes
And boys.
together.
Uh-huh.
So is that where you met your husband?
No, well, okay, kind of. So do you really want to know the story? It's pretty good.
Yeah, we do.
So my last semester of college, I had gotten my denial letters from vet school, and I was kind of in like not a great mental space, but it was my last semester and I was going to make the most of it. And I kind of was like, I'm smart enough boys for this last semester because I'm moving away. Like, I don't know where I was going to end up. I was applying to jobs. And then it was New Year's Eve and I got a little too intoxicated on Crown Apple and came home and my friend delivered McDonald's chicken nuggets. And I was eating chicken nuggets in bed and I swiped right on my husband on Tinder. And that's how I met him.
Swipe right on Tinder, chicken nuggets, 20-piece. Awesome.
Were you eating it?
Fantastic.
Were you in bed when you were eating the chicken nuggets?
Oh, yeah. I was watching Netflix, like just swiping, doing my thing, eating nuggets.
I heard an old guy say, wow, where was I? I heard an old guy say that he was complimenting on an attractive woman walking down the street and said, I wouldn't kick her out of bed while she was eating crackers.
For eating crackers.
Or for eating crackers,
Yep.
yes. So maybe your husband thought that he wouldn't kick you out of bed for eating chicken nuggets.
Who knows? I guess I was his first match on Tinder, too. So he was. And then I didn't respond for like 5 days and he almost gave up. But then also I showed up the next weekend. So.
Nice. Persistence.
And is he in the farming world? You're back home farming, or is he like some banker or something?
He's actually
Shots fired.
He's a horseshoer, actually. So that's what he
Oh.
does. He didn't grow up directly in ag. His grandparents both had farms, but he lived in town. His dad manages an elevator. So he's always kind of been involved, worked on feedlots, but wasn't directly farming, doing that type of thing.
Tanner, that's farrier for the layperson. just in
Yeah,
case
I
you-
got it.
Farrier, if you don't know what anyone is. I just said I was going to say horseshoer instead.
There you go.
So-
she's simplified it. For
So
you.
before him, did you have horses?
Yes, I grew up. My dad actually had one too many beers in our small town bar and agreed to give me my first horse from his buddy. So that's how I got my first horse. And I got my first pony when I was like 4. So I've always had horses. But I always thought I would be the problem, that I would have the horse issue. And then I married Nathan and he brings home horses all the time. It is ridiculous.
The horse market's up right now. I mean, it's good.
I know. He wants to go buy like a fancy colt down in Nebraska at the Pitzer sale for way more money than I would ever think on spending a horse. And he's got this business plan. And in my mind, I'm like, they just eat so much hay. Because that's what my dad's a grain farmer. He's like, they're hay burners. That's what they do, right?
Right.
So I struggle with that. But I still like them. So it's kind of I just thought I would be the problem. And then I'm over here like telling him that he can't have 85 horses. So.
Yeah, I figured, part of the swiping on Tinder was the fact that was probably in his profile picture and you're like, I'll never have to shoe a horse again.
Well, that's the other thing. So the picture, actually, he was roping a cow, and I was like, ooh, it's a cowboy, like every girl that has cows wants to have a cowboy. My horses don't get done on a regular basis because he wants to get paid to do it, and he's tired after a long day. So don't look at their feet. So if you're listening, do not marry a farrier.
Hey, that might be some good advice.
There you go.
That might be the first piece of advice. But now it's time.
She is an advocate. I mean, she's just
Got it figured out. Now we're going to jump into our first drink of the episode. So we mentioned thank you to Busch Light for being the proud sponsor of the beer of the Farm4Profit podcast. And Corey's not here to really give us a true elaboration on this. However, listener suggestion said, we should put pineapple juice mixed with the Busch Light to create a shandy.
Yep.
And Dave, you already took a drink, huh?
And it definitely, I didn't know what you had in there so I drank before you even said it. I'm not a fan of pineapple, but it does taste exactly like a shandy.
Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. That's not bad. I could see if you don't like pineapple
If you don't
juice.
like pineapple, you won't like it.
But that's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I think that's one we could do. That'd be a good summer one. What are you drinking over there, Andrea?
It's an energy drink because I drove and was tired, so that's what we got here.
Oh,
It is a popsicle flavor.
popsicle flavor?
Yeah, it's like a popsicle, but with like it's pineapple-y, so kind of on the same wavelength, just not like
Yeah, we totally knew that was going to happen. That's why we chose pineapple
matching.
as our beer of mixed choice.
So were you going to be a large animal vet or a small animal, or just your
Yeah.
dreams got crushed by some cowboy on Tinder? Got it.
Yeah, I was gonna go for the large animal. I really like reproductive sciences and genetics in cattle. So my goal was to kind of focus on that and then just general practice. But
Sound like my wife. She came home talking EPDs and progenies and birth weights and calving ease and oh mercy.
And ended up with a firefighter.
Yeah. She wanted a cowboy too. Didn't happen. So you're on TikTok. You got like what 50,000 plus someone between Instagram and TikTok. Which one you like better, TikTok or Instagram?
so I started on Instagram. So like Instagram's always had my heart. It will have my heart just because I think that's my best community for like my women in ag. And I have a lot of people that have been there since I started sharing in 2018. And I like Instagram stories a lot, but the algorithm over there right now sucks. And I try to keep things a lot more professional and like on point with brand partnerships over there a little bit more. And I feel like TikTok is just more of a fun outlet for me lately, but I think it's my favorite at the moment, to be honest. Which I feel like a traitor because I hated it for forever, and then COVID hit, and I was like, I'm not going to make videos, and now it's addicting, and I feel like I have to. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of our guests would say the same.
So your age demographic, do you have Facebook?
Yes.
You do. Do you get a lot of any advocate stuff going there?
I have a like page that I set up when I started way back in the day, and it's connected, so I can just like reshare content over there, and it's nice to hit another audience. But for a while, like Facebook wasn't showing like pages, so now I like am back building it again. So we're there, but it's a whole different ball game on Facebook, and I'm not going to say that's because the old people are there, but
As she smiles and gives air quotes, the old
sometimes
people.
I'm like, what is happening over here? Like I talked to some of my friends too, and they're like, yeah, Facebook is just a really weird community sometimes. So
I would agree, but I would say that all platforms are really weird communities. You go to Ag Twitter, and it can be a really weird community.
I am overwhelmed by Twitter. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
I stopped using
Jeez.
it, and I like get there, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah. So before we jump into our first game of the show, I want to know why you are proclaiming yourself as an advocate.
Oh gosh,
Why? Who cares? Why do it?
because I care. Because a lot of people don't understand what's going on and what we do. And the things that I see on social media, videos that end up on TikTok or activists, what they share, you know, the Nebraska heat stress with cattle, that just pisses me off when that stuff just blows up. So when I started sharing a little bit of my cattle love back when I was sharing just fitness and people started relating to that, and I started getting questions that I thought were obvious things because I grew up in the industry, I knew there was an issue, right? So there's nothing that makes me more angry than someone sharing something that's absolute BS. So I've made it my mission to try to combat that and be an advocate for the industry that didn't have anybody for a long time. And now there's a lot of us, but we have to tell our story because it got really messy, and it is really messy right now. Somehow people have no idea where their food comes from. So that's why.
Tanner, here's my problem with advocates. Just got to rant, got to take it. So my wife's all about her cows, right? Goes out, makes TikTok, cattle, everything. She gets, just like she just said, pissed off every time. Like, they don't even know where their food comes from. This is whatever. We're on a trip to New York or something. And like, you realize that your content that you're putting out goes to other like-minded people like you. So even the algorithm, if you're, okay, I like cows, they're going to put cows in front of me. So the people that we're advocating to, I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on TikTok, Q, any of those guys that are out there, it's other like-minded people that are like, yeah, they don't even know where their food comes from. Well, you're not hitting the right audience. So the right audience never sees any of your advocating. So that's my problem with being able to do that. How do we get that content to people that don't know about it?
Well, I think Andrea's doing a good job as you're molding two different interests into one page.
Correct. So if we get women that want fashion and
fitness,
yoga pants, et cetera, but now, oh, hey, you know how you fit in those yoga pants? You got to eat some beef over here. I think it's a good meld.
And I mean, it helps, like, if you do some, like, the trendy stuff or you grab their attention through other things, because I mean, if I only talked about ag, I would be cool with it, but it also, I'm more than that, right? So it's depending on the algorithm, like it's really easy to have one video blow up. It's just gathering that attention that you can actually educate. And there's some really great accounts on TikTok, like the Iowa dairy farmer. He does a really, really, really great job, and he's captured a lot of people that are not in agriculture. So I think it's just figuring out the algorithm too, to find those people, but then usually you get like the severe and not the middle. You
Correct.
have the actors that attack. You want to find the middle that genuinely like want to learn or are open to learning. So that's the challenge. Is we call it the movable middle.
And I think we need to take some hashtags that are like trending hashtags, you know, whatever, and then put those in all of our egg videos. But I've noticed that lately, so that was my thoughts.
And it is. It's tough. And just like you said, algorithms tell so much. You know, I've been on a kick of stand-up comedians lately. And now it seems like I don't see all the ag videos that I used to see. I got to start hitting more like buttons. But here I am laughing along and not disappointed with the content that's coming through my feed to where it's also enjoyable. I just don't want to be limited. Don't want to get cornholed into a small spot. But there was another portion of the content of yours that I've consumed that might dive even deeper into why you are an advocate. It's not just for the people outside that don't know where their food's coming from, but you feel like even the youth or the younger side of agriculture needs a voice too.
There you go.
Yeah, and I do, because I mean, a lot of this ties back to like mental health. Like I went through some really dark times in high school, and ag and FFA and 4-H is a lot of what like kept me going through all of that. So being that voice to help people navigate that, but also there's a gap, and like my dad is one of those people where they look to young farmers and there's just like miscommunication that sometimes happens where we're trying to get into it. And I'm trying to be that advocate that helps that transition, because it's been hard. But also like young women in ag, it's a weird world when you are a woman in the space that is accepting women, but it hasn't always been this way. So there's still kind of both sides of it. But that community has my heart because they get me. They grew up on the same thing. They had the same, you know, like trending things. We had the apps, all of the fun stuff. But it's fun to have like-minded people that you connect with that also just relate to what you have going on every single day. When like something breaks and your dad is just pissed off and you have to deal with him, that makes a lot of what I do fun.
Does it make it harder being a young woman?
Sometimes not, because I love like the community piece of finding the other young women on like TikTok. Like all of my favorite farmers are on TikTok that are my age. They go through the same stuff. We joke about the same things, but we also have the same challenges. So that's nice. But like when I was in feed sales, trying to be a young woman that was 21 years old coming into that field, that was absolutely terrible. But I was dealing with 65-year-old farmers and not in a time they wanted to spend any money. So I've seen both sides. It's good and bad. And there's been a lot of progress since I started sharing, but there's still very negative things and there's great things happening.
Yeah, and it doesn't get done by just one person.
No, that's the sad part. It's like, I think I can make such a big change in the world, and it's not just one person that can do any of that. We have to do it together. And it's powerful. Like you see some of those accounts growing and the videos, and I laugh. Like Zoe, I adore her. The videos that she makes, I'm like, this is relatable. We're the same person. And like Ag with Emma, we go through the same stuff, and that community piece and empowering other women that are young that didn't grow up in ag to get into this livelihood and have that confidence. That is a big part of what I do as well. And what like lights my soul on fire.
She said Ag with Emma, not Midwest Emma.
She did. Just in case
Do
you're wondering.
not confuse the two. They are very different.
How many
You
acres
will not
does
find-
Midwest Emma say?
That's right. You will not find the content you're looking for if you screw the two of them up.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I think I saw somebody ask Egg with Emma if she was Midwest Emma.
There was a tweet. I opened Twitter the one day, and it was actually like Midwest Emma saying like, someone keeps asking me if like I'm
Yes.
Egg with Emma, or they're like getting confused, and I was like, oh my god, poor Emma. Like,
Yes.
So I see you got a cowboy hat in the background there. And
yeah.
every cowboy hat shaped different. You know, bronc riders wear a certain kind, ropers a little more wider brim, you know, bull riders maybe all different. What does yours say? Are you a can chaser? Are you a roper? Are you just like, I own a lot of land, and so I tuck my pants into my boots? Or like, what's your statement there with your hat?
So I've never actually like worn that one. I went to Fort Worth in June. We went to a hat bar and we made hats, and I kind of got guilted into buying it. So now I have it if I ever want to wear it. I don't. So Southwest Minnesota, nobody here wears a cowboy hat. We wear like ball caps. My husband, South Dakota, he wears a cowboy hat all the time. So for a while, I was like, everyone's looking at you because you're wearing a cowboy hat. Like, it's just not normal. But I don't really wear it. I don't know. It's just a random. It's got fancy stuff on it. So
here's a fun fact. I was told this now. If you wear your cowboy hat with straight brim, like straight across, it means you're married. So make sure your boyfriend's wearing or husband's wearing his hat straight. If it's just a little cockeyed, tilted to the side like that, means ladies, I'm available. Ladies, come on.
She's going to look.
That's a Texas thing. Telling you.
She's going to look, though.
Uh-huh.
Next time he puts it on, when he comes home tonight.
Got to square it up.
Like, honey,
what are you doing?
Why is your hat tilted to the side?
I'll ask him. I'll give him crap.
All right, let's jump into a game before we try our next drink. And we've been told that we can't use a 4-letter word or shouldn't use a 4-letter word anymore. So the childhood game that people used to play where it was called Do, Marry, Kill, we're supposed to not say kill anymore.
What?
At least we've been suggested that we don't use kill anymore because it's plenty harsh, even though it's an imaginary game. So we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to call it Do, Marry, or Send to Russia. Right? About the same? No,
I mean, pretty much.
I probably can't say that either. So we're going to start off here since this will be the first female guest that we've played this game with. And I'll play it with you and David. I'll just stay out and kind of moderate this.
All right.
So starting off first, Do, Marry, or Send to Russia. David Beckham, Paul Rudd, Robert Pattinson.
Oh, man. I don't even know who half these people like.
I was going to say, are you Googling them like I am? Because I have no idea who these people are.
Oh, man. You guys are taking all the wind out of my sails. David Beckham's a soccer player.
Okay. Paul Rudd's an actor, isn't he?
Yep. So is Robert Pattinson.
I can see their faces.
Yeah.
That's right, because you don't want to send a cute guy to Russia.
No, never.
Oh, that's Paul Rudd. All right, fair enough. Okay.
All right, Dave, you got him pulled up.
I got Paul Rudd. I still don't know who David Beckham is here.
Oh, that is.
All right, you got it, Andrea?
Yeah.
David Beckham, Paul Rudd, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I think I got this.
Did you guys ever have spam callers call you? So here's a side note. I got one calling me right now. Watch this. I'm going to end the call. He'll call 2 more times. Every time. He's called me last 3 nights. Last 3 nights in a row. Give it 10 seconds and he'll call me right back. And it'll be, here's time 2, there's time 3. Probably won't happen now. But there's time 2. There it is.
That's impressive.
Okay, I'll end it. He'll call 1 more time. He always calls 3 times. I don't know if it's a robot dealer or not, but
it's probably somebody that wants to sell a farm.
No. Oh, there's 3rd time.
Wow.
Tell you what,
it's really just me calling him, and he's treating me like spam. But what do you got, Andrea? Who's the Do? Who's the Marry? Who are we sending to Russia?
Right in the order you said them. So Do David, marry Paul, and then send the other one to Russia.
All right, Dave, do you agree?
I don't. I don't know who I'm going to do, but I'm guessing it's going to be Paul because he sounds like a fun time, I guess. David Beckham probably looks hotter in this instance. I've Googled all of them. And soccer players who's probably athletic, so he's the marry and keep around, and just like her horse farrier. And Robert is he gets to go to Russia.
Oh, man. All right, now I need your 3 favorite music artists or bands.
Shinedown.
Okay.
Def Leppard. And probably Stu Motley Crue.
Okay. You can listen to one on repeat for the rest of your life. You get to go see one live in their last performance ever, you'll never get to listen to the music of the third one again.
Oof.
On repeat every day, get to go see live, or you never get to hear it forever again.
So I would listen to Shinedown every single day because they have a good variety of music that I wouldn't hate my life at the end of it. I would probably go see Def Leppard just because they're really good, and I would have to listen to
Staying
them.
in order, Dave.
Can't not listen. And then Motley Crue only has like a couple one-hit wonders, so I'd be okay if I just didn't listen to them again, I guess.
All right, Dave, for you, Shania Twain, Reba McEntire, Faith Hill.
I didn't even get to give you my 3. Okay. Shania, what are we doing?
Listen on repeat, go see live in concert, never hear ever again.
Gotcha. Shania Twain, Never Hear Ever Again.
Wow, that was fast.
Reba, I would like to see in concert, and Faith Hill, I'll listen on repeat.
Do you have anything to contribute, Andrea?
Well, how did you just diss Shania?
Because I'm 20 years older than all of you. That's why. And so Reba was like the redheaded awesome right there back in the day. So that's who we'd go see. Shania's got a lot more energy, but you got to pick somebody.
She still has a ton of energy. Have you seen Shania's TikTok?
I know. She's got a lot of followers. Faith Hill as well.
Shania Twain. If you find her account, you're like, I have to follow her.
Right, I know. I got robbed there. I got 3 good ones.
That's not Rob. That's the point. It's not supposed to be easy. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I get ready to mix this next beer flavor. We'll do one more for the both of you. Taylor Swift, Adele.
Oh, yeah.
Or Britney Spears.
Okay.
So none the same. Really very different genres. Genre.
We're Do, Marry, Kill?
No, you can't do that game.
Oh.
This is listen on repeat.
Oh.
Go see live, or all their music is gone forever.
Oh, no. I feel like T Swift has had like so many different levels of music that I can't just like, this hurts my soul a little bit. Okay. On repeat, I feel like I could get along with Britney Spears, even though there's only like a couple good, amazing ones there.
You could listen to Oops, I Did It Again.
I mean, like, Gimme More is really good. Toxic, like, they at least have a good beat to them. I can't diss her like that. I'd probably just send T Swift goodbye forever because I only like her, like, original stuff. And then I'd probably go to an Adele concert just because she's very gifted.
Nice. Dave?
I think I follow the same program.
You guys are really exciting.
No, Adele, I would like to go see. I don't know enough of her songs to play them on repeat all the time. Taylor Swift, I know more of Britney that I'd probably, play on that because that was my demographic. So
there you go. Well, there you go. That was Do, Marry, Send to Russia.
Mm-hmm. Send to Russia.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's going to catch on. You're going to start seeing that on Jimmy Fallon or whatever.
Probably.
Started here on the Farm4Profit podcast. Let's do this next beer mixed with margarita mix.
Oh.
This was called what was this one called? I'm going to have to look that up. It's
better than pineapple.
Man, I'll have to grab my notes.
No.
This is margarita mix mixed with a beer.
I thought it was, I guess we don't have any liquor in there.
It's a pre-made.
Oh, yeah,
so there should be a little bit in there.
Beer before liquor or liquor before beer.
Oh, yeah, now you're screwed when you mix them together.
Now we're just screwed. All at the same time? Is that what we call this one?
That's right. All at the same time. So what is it, Andrea? What's a hobby of yours? Obviously, you're into fitness, but is that it?
Sometimes I'm like, do I have any hobbies outside of working out and hanging out with cows? I don't know. I used to like crafts a lot, and then I made a whole bunch of wedding bouquets, and now I hate that. So that happened. Anything like outside hanging out, I honestly just like horseback riding. I like to go just chill outside. Like if I can just hang out on a fall day, not when it's 100 degrees, go for a walk with my dog, chill in the pasture, ride horse.
Can a hobby be TikTok? I think it could.
I don't know why it couldn't be.
Do you have like a favorite TikTok video to make, like, or like thing you like to do, like horses, cows, etc.?
I don't know.
Working
I'm
out,
just-
dancing, showing
yeah,
off
I
clothes.
usually embarrass myself or post the funny stuff. I don't know.
So is your husband a TikToker?
No, because he's very much a perfectionist. So I told him, I was like, you should make like farrier content because he watches it all the time. My friends send me farrier content. Like I watch it even though I see it 24/7. He's just so scared of like people being complete jerks, which people are jerks on social media. So that's what happens. So he doesn't, but he makes jokes and does shenanigans all the time. And I try to capture them. And then when he's like in a good mood, I can post them. So, because he would like literally, I think he would end up being everyone's favorite TikToker just because he is that person. Like he has the dumbest like dad jokes that I don't laugh at because I've been married to him, but he thinks he's hilarious. And just if I could record him all the time, people would be like, "What is your husband doing with his life?" Because it's constant shenanigans all the time.
Well, that's interesting. I think I saw a TikTok this morning that was of a woman saying, does anybody else have an extremely hilarious husband that refuses to make TikToks so we can't become TikTok famous together?
We have the same algorithm.
Yeah, you saw her too.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to send that one to my wife because I also think I'm funny, but just chose to put a podcast together instead of becoming TikTok famous.
You could do both. You could
Give it a shot, right?
do it.
No reason not to. My humor's as far as do, marry, send to Russia.
Dual accounts.
There you go. That's right. The funny banker. There's a lot of those.
Split personality.
Good. Like two sides.
I had also seen on Twitter, speaking of wild places, a question that was posed, and I can't remember what podcast this was on, but you seem like the right person to ask.
Now I'm nervous.
What is the sexiest animal alive?
Oh my.
Oof. Ooh.
And why?
Oh,
Honestly,
I
though,
got an
like
answer.
a slicked out bull when they had like a slow mo or they come off the trailer, the muscling on them is phenomenal. Like I have slow mo videos of ours getting off the trailer, and I'm like, damn, they're gonna go hit like 25 little girlfriends over here. So probably that, I would say.
That was a quick
Oh.
answer. That was faster than I expected her to put an answer together.
I mean, I posted a video that had like "Sexy Back" as the song, so it was right in my head. I was like, that's the answer right there.
Is that what you were going to say, Dave?
No. Being a fashion person, cheetah.
Ooh.
Cheetah. Every woman in the world thinks, cheetah print somewhat sexy, or
Leopard
maybe some of them do.
prints.
They leopard print type deal. So what is a sexy? Well, that's a dead animal, I guess, alive. So alive, maybe it doesn't count because they're not alive.
There was a lot of answers of a bunny. And a lot of people were saying what is the Lola bunny? And there's been a couple of cartoons that they went to, and I went, really? That's how you're prepping up your sexiest animal alive is off of a cartoon? But I would agree. I think you both did a pretty good job of hitting different genders. A sexy cheetah, leopard, or a muscled up bull.
I don't know what other animal I would consider sexy, to be honest. Like you asked me that, and I was like, I have nothing in my head.
So what about the ugliest animal?
Oh, there's some really ugly animals out there.
I'm starting with an armadillo
Yeah.
or a possum.
Yeah, possums are freaky. Any like rodents, not a fan of those.
Yeah.
Sloth.
They're cute when you actually see them in person. I got to see them like up close in Costa Rica. They're actually really cute.
Why, you've been to Costa Rica?
Yeah, I went on a veterinary mission trip there. Thought I was going to die in the rainforest for like 12 days, but
Well,
yeah.
tell us more about that. What's it like being on a missionary trip? One, I know about missionary trips, but a vet missionary trip.
It's a little bit terrifying because you have zero phone service in the middle of nowhere, and so we landed in like the airport. We were in a city, and then they drove us 3 hours on a bus, and they don't have roads down there. So it's like minimum maintenance roads times like 85 on a giant bus. It was terrifying. And then we got into the forest or the rainforest, and the first thing I did when I got there is like almost got taken out by a howler monkey as it was like swinging through the trees. And then I stepped on a poisonous snake within 5 minutes. So it was amazing to be there and like spay and neuter pets for all these people because they're way overpopulated. It's really, really, really bad down there. And they're very appreciative of what you do. But it's so humid. You never dry off. Like you shower and your hair just stays wet. Like you think it's humid in July in the Midwest. It's bad down
Wow.
there. But after that, we got to go explore Costa Rica. It's really, really cool down there. I would encourage everyone to go visit it as like a tourist, just because it is a whole different culture and a different community. But it was a really fun time.
So how short-minded I am. I didn't think of spaying and neutering pets. I figured you were going and what you were doing was going to be taking care of howler monkeys and tending to, I don't know, Amazon rats or whichever it is, the animals that you'd find in the wild.
No, we just did a whole bunch of cats and dogs, and then we did like palpate cattle down there and saw a few horses and everything. But otherwise, it was just like a spay and neuter clinic, because like you go to a little village and you walk through and there's probably 150 dogs like coming into the street to see you, because there's nothing down there for vet care.
We were in Morocco and they had a lot of stray dogs
Mm-hmm.
in Morocco.
It's just the lack of any, like nobody spays and neuters there, so they just breed and breed and breed and breed, and it's like, I mean, I've gone on like res trips as well out in South Dakota. Same thing. They just have dogs that just come to you and they're starving and they need something. So we vaccinated, spayed, neutered, took care of all of that, fixed a few other little issues, and then some of them actually came to the U.S. and got adopted. But
Have you seen the TikToks where they're doing horse hoof trimming, but they do it with like a huge, like almost looks like a spatula overseas, like India type stuff. And I'm like, are they, there's like no hoof knife. I mean, they're not rasping. It's just like, take this and it's like they're cutting the hoof in half because they're so overgrown on little donkeys and stuff. I could see that. I mean, they're so overgrown that like, how do these animals even walk? Because they're, curved like skis on the front. But I get stuck on those, and then I'm in this endless loop of like Indian videos from wherever.
That's funny.
yeah, you just send those.
I could totally see that. So now I want to get back to your advocating. It's even hard to say sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I hate the word. I like the word, but I hate it because I'm like that, but and I like can't say my own name. It's fine.
So as you are going through your day, going through your life on the farm, are you ultra sensitive to what's going on around you, what you're interacting with? And is that how you come up with content, or how are you trying to be helpful to others?
So a lot of the times it just comes from what I do in the day. And like a lot of people I hear, like, and right now I'm in the season where I don't feel like a lot's going on. Like everyone's kind of preparing for harvest. We have cows on pasture. The feedlot just has fat cattle. We're not calving. We're not weeding. And I feel like it's just kind of like dry right now, but that's also the reality. So I try to just show the everyday things, because we don't need to be fancy and show, the big events that happen. They also, like, consumers should know what we do in the back end. Like, we're constantly hauling manure. We're always feeding every single day. So I try to just talk about that. But this is also the time of year that I sprinkle in other things. But my mind is always working. It's weird. Like, my mind is always seeing something, whether it's a challenge or an unfortunate event or just whatever's happening. My mind's like, that's content. That's exactly how it is. I always have my phone ready to take a video quick or a picture, and then I post it later. But I think that's also 4 years in the making. It's a habit. And I set it up all the time, or I take my other camera out there and just record massive amounts of content for use later on. And I don't ever delete videos. So if I don't have anything going on, I can pull a video from 2020 and talk about it. But usually if it's anything that happens, I try to be really real and raw. So if it's not a great thing, I'm probably going to talk about it, because we can't just show the highlight reel. Like, animals get sick, they die, they have, things happen. But my mind is always like, this is content. You can make this. It's just the creative outlet. And now my parents are also like it. My dad's very quiet and anti-social media, but he'll be like, this is a really good idea. You should do this. That's also my life now.
So you said you had brands that you were trying to follow. So are you sponsored by some people?
I have. So I've been doing some like brand partnerships with different companies, making content for them that kind of serves their audience and kind of gets the word out there. So I'm not like sponsored, but they're sponsored posts. So essentially, yes. So I've made content with like Performance Livestock Analytics, if you're familiar with that. I have some other ones going on that are kind of in the back end, but mainly just like cattle related things. Or I made a sponsored post for Pennzoil the other day, changing my own oil. That was really exciting. Otherwise, it's just kind of back end things going on that I can't really discuss yet. But
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, like
there's
this-
a lot going on back here that I'm like signed into little things. But yeah, I'm excited.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's nice because I can monetize social media and what I do, but still be around to help on the farm as we're expanding and not, I'm not being paid. So putting that money back into the farm to grow with them while I can support myself is really great versus being on payroll, and which is nice because I can also like sneak out of there if I need to because I'm like not being paid. But
Right. Yeah, it's a never have a day off mentality, because Dave will shoot me a text when he hears somebody speak and be like, oh, this would be a great guest for the podcast. Same thing, we'll be scrolling TikTok, and we're always sending each other TikToks back and forth, Twitter messages. Corey's at one point in time, I think Corey will contact me on 6 different platforms. I'll get a snap, I'll get a DM on Twitter, I'll get a TikTok and a text, and sometimes it just doesn't end of you see something that could be good, and then you may never actually do it or use it. We've got
I'm
people.
always saving videos.
I never hear his snaps because I always have my phone muted. So every time I open it, and then he's like telling me a story, I'm like, crap. So by the time I get my phone turned up, Snap's gone. I got to replay it.
Yeah, then you lose the actual replay
Then I lose
ability
that,
with the sound the second time.
Exactly. Just send me a blooming text.
He's really good about the voice text, not
Yeah.
just voice to text, but
Yep.
send you the actual him conversing back and forth.
Those are the best because you don't like. I'm lazy and I don't want to type, so I just record and it's way easier.
Right.
So
Yeah, except for when they're 6 minutes long and you're like, dude, just get to the point.
yeah, I ramble a lot too. That's how my co-owner of the boutique. That's how we connect because she's a mom, so she's always just like on her phone like that. But they'll be like 7-minute voice messages, and I'm trying to do something at the farm, and I'm like, this is gonna have to wait because I can't listen to this right now and be
Right.
organized.
So are you going to be a mom anytime?
Maybe in like 5 years. I don't know. We're not really at that like point that I want kids. I kind of like the freedom of being able to do what I want and not like the thought of me not being able to calve out cows because of safety reasons someday has me a little bit terrified. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
So,
Is
and
there
I
such a
don't
thing?
love kids at this point in my life. They're kind of just like the annoying thing over there because I don't have to deal with them.
Yeah, you said your brother's got a girlfriend. Just let him start. You can start with a niece or a nephew.
They've been together for like 7 years. I don't know why they're like not, but that's just, I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna push. So we'll see. He'll probably be first on it, but depending. She's in PT school, so we'll see how that goes. But
Oh, perfect.
yeah,
Well, that's good. Well, this has been a ton of fun, and I'm glad that it worked out. It's always fun for me to realize the journey that it takes to get a guest on a podcast. And I think this journey was almost 2 months long.
yeah.
Getting
I was gone when you guys wanted to record last time. I don't know what I was doing, but
yeah.
other
And,
than one day, I don't ever do anything, and then you caught me on that, and I was like, well,
hey, that's fine. Everything happens for a reason. It's been a pleasure having you on. But as you've listened before, we ask the same question at the end of every single show, Dave. What's that question?
Well, I know what it was last year. No, just kidding.
That's true. To say it's the same question every time, that might be an overstatement.
Yeah. What is the best advice you've ever gotten?
And while you think about that, listeners, 515-207-9640. If you are listening to this on the day that it comes out, come find us. Farm Progress Show will be at Sukup Manufacturing in the morning, John Deere in the afternoon. Hopefully you got to meet us at the after party last night. If not, sorry that you missed out. Reach out. We'll get you in contact with us the next time we throw a party after a trade show. But again, your guest suggestions, your listener reviews, maybe even your sponsorship suggestions, 515-207-9640. What is the best advice Andrea has ever been given?
I don't remember who gave me this advice, but I was definitely in like early high school, and you're in that mentality where you think you're stuck in a situation and you like everything is ending, right? Like it's the worst time ever. But hearing the words that you're always able to adapt and you're never stuck somewhere that stuck with me forever, literally. So just knowing that you can adapt anywhere, and you're not ever stuck where you think you are, no matter how low you are.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of that?
Oh gosh. I would say it's a lot of reflection of some of the lowest points I've had in my life where I felt stuck. And always after every one of those moments, I hit a very good point in my life where I had a lot of like self-growth. So probably just all of the progress that's been made along the way with my mental health more than anything.
When Zoe Kent was the guest, she said it always works out. Everything will be okay. Absolutely.
Goes right along with it.
Listeners, we appreciate you hanging around this Farm for Fun episode, and don't you forget that everything will be okay. Dave, are you doing Corey's part, or am I doing Corey's part?
I guess I can do it.
So what should the listeners now go do?
Mix some pineapple juice and a Busch Light, and have a good one.
Crack a beer.
Crack a beer.
Mix a drink.
Mix a drink.
You deserve it.